Hello, everyone, and welcome to this spur of the moment kind of Facebook Live. I wanted to just share how I use the card sketch and maybe give you a few even more ideas. I love card layouts and how they can be a jumping off point. And so let me just get the computer going and making sure that I'm actually up here. I'm not going to spend a lot. I'm thinking this will be a fairly short Facebook Live. I'm just popping on to give you the idea. Now, every Friday I post card layouts sketch. So in other words, it's an idea. And so hi Karen, welcome. Last Friday, I shared this sketch and some of you have already been working with it and having so much fun. Now, when I share, I keep switching sketch layout. It means the same thing. This layout, you don't have to do exactly the same as this. And I have purposely not put measurements here because you're welcome to play with the measurements a little bit too. It is just to use this as an idea to get you, jump started. I also wanted to just share that you can always change things up too. So if I had a longer strip here, I could have that going all the way. Hi, Fran, welcome. And I could go like this. And I might change my measurements a little bit, but I could make it go like that. I could even just change where I'm putting things. So this is your jumping off point. So if you think it would be way easier to use if I gave measurements, let me know. But that's the reason why I haven't been giving measurements. And you'll notice that with my card sketches, I've been concentrating lately with designer paper incorporated into it. And that's because we have this great designer paper sale on right now, and I've used several of these. There's Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, Hand Panned, In Good Taste, In the Wild, Pansy Petals, Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas, and You're a Peach. And all of these are 15% off right now. So if you don't have any designer paper or you're low on designer paper, now is the time to stock up. If you do have designer paper, well, if you're like me, you still can't resist on stocking up a little bit. But I wanted to help you use your designer paper. So often it is so pretty that it's hard to make that first cut. But once you do, away you go and you start cutting. Good morning, Sheila. Hi. And Fran. So I used to be a designer paper hoarder, I guess you could say. I would collect it. And not use it because I was just hesitant. And then a few years ago, I gave myself a little talking to and said, hey, let's get using this stuff. And I have been using it ever since. And now I use it in almost all of my projects. So you love working with sketches and layouts, Karen. Oh, excellent. I find them good, especially if I'm sort of stuck in I need a creative jumpstart. Layouts are perfect. So what I did today, I'm going to back up. When I work with designer paper, I often start with the designer paper itself and then work out. So for this card today, I used designer paper that was 3.5 by 2.25. And this designer paper, who can tell me what designer paper it's from? It's one of the ones on sale. So which one is it from? And while you're typing what you think it is, I'm going to say I then chose the colors in this designer paper. And that's how I chose the colors for the card. So for my card base, I chose Misty Moonlight because that's in here. So my card base is 4.5 by 11, scored at 5.5. So we've got that. We've got it. We'll fold it, bring in my bone folder and burnish that edge and make it nice and sharp. So you can already see that that's going to work very, very well together. So what designer paper? Any guesses? What designer paper did I use? I am using the Beauty of the Earth designer paper, and I'm using this one here. So this is what's on the back. I'll just flip it over like that. And I'm using this side. So this is gorgeous paper. You've seen me use it before. And so I'm using it again here. And one of the other colors that coordinates that's in here is Old Olive. So I decided to bring the strip of Old Olive in here. So now it's going to go together like that. And I made my strip 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. All right, so I've brought that in. Then I've brought in a piece of vellum that's 3 by 3, and it's going to rest on here. Already it's looking pretty, isn't it? And then I'm going to bring in my paper that I'm going to stamp on. This is, I chose to make it 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Now you could use a die or a punch for this layer easily. And I am going to put it about like that and then add my ribbon and stuff. Now, I had an idea as I was planning this out. What if for the Old Olive layer, I ran it through an embossing folder. Now, there's one that's called Wintry 3D, and you get 2 embossing folders. They're the 3-inch, 3.5 inches wide, so they fit in the mini one, and so they come together as a pair. I'm using this one here, and I experimented just a little bit to add some texture. So this is one way I could change it up, is just by adding a little bit of texture. So like that. So either looks good. And then this, and I'm actually going to start layering things down now that I have my sketch ready to go. I better bring my silicone mat in. Going to put adhesive, make sure I'm using the correct side. Put adhesive on this side here, like that. I don't know about you, but for me, usually the hardest thing is choosing my colors. And then if I work with designer paper, it basically does it for me. So there we go. We've got that there. We're going to fasten this on. We're just going to sort of butt it right up there. It looks like it's tucked under, but I'm going to have it sticking out. And so there we go, just like that. Oh, Karen, you got it too? Oh, good. We were together on that. Doesn't this just pop with these colors? I'm loving that. And then I'm going to put my vellum down. Now, I'm going to be strategic when putting my vellum down. I'm going to put my adhesive underneath where this is going to go. So that's going to go there. So if I bring in my adhesive, and if I put it right there, it's going to be hidden by my words. So when you're designing a card, what do you often find the hardest? Like I just said, for me, it's choosing the colors is often the hardest. So now I'm ready to stamp that. So what do you find maybe the harder part of card design? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my little mat here, and with that paper, that's sweet. You could also get this stamp set. It came with the Sweet Beauty of Friendship. And I thought about using this because I absolutely love the words in this. But I'm going to switch it out, and I'm going to use another favorite of mine, Create with Friends. So it has these wonderful, gorgeous fonts here, and then other words that go with those. So I am going to use the word celebrate and the word you. And I've got them ready to go. So let's bring them in, and I'm going to stamp the word celebrate in Night of Navy. This blue here is Misty Moonlight. Night of Navy is just a shade darker, and it is also found in that designer paper. So I thought it would just stand out a little bit. Now I'm going to keep it up because in the design, remember, I had ribbon along the bottom. So I'm not centering it. I'm putting it towards the top. like that. And let me just see, do I want to put the word you in there? I think I'm going to save you for the inside. I am just going to put celebrate there. Now the Beauty of Friendship has some splotches, and I could put some splotches on here too. I might do that. That I'm going to do in Misty Moonlight because it's lighter in color, and I'm going to stamp it off so that it's even lighter. So I'm going to bring in some scrap paper here, ink up the splotches, stamp them off, and I'm going to go with the third impression. So 1, 2, and just add a little bit of, oh, and I want to go right off the edge here. So, and I'll go right off the edge there. And sure, there we go. I don't know if I like that or not, but I guess I'll find out. Now I'm going to bring in the ribbon, but in this case I'm going to use twine. I didn't have any ribbon that was in Misty Moonlight or Old Olive or Night of Navy, I don't think. So I'm going to bring in this wonderful pack, Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. So you have all these choices, and I think black will work just fine. So what I'm going to do is put some adhesive on the back. Where did I put it? Here it is. And just catch my twine and wrap it around just like the sketch went, and trim it. Everybody does this differently. I find this easier than wrapping it around and tying because I sometimes have trouble tying the bow properly, so I like to tie it separately. And all I do is just make a loop. Yeah, usually that's all I do. Hey, Donine, I haven't seen or heard from you forever. So good to see you on here. Excellent. And then I'm just, when you're adjusting your bows, I just hang on to the middle and then play till I get it the way I want it. We'll just trim that off and get this out of the way. And I'm not going to attach this just yet. When I do, it's going to be with a glue dot. And the reason I'm not attaching it right now is I want to make sure of my placement. Oh, Deneen, I'm glad you're liking it. Excellent. Deneen came to my card clubs many years ago when her kids were young, and I think they're pretty much grown up by now, or from what I've seen on Facebook. Yay for Facebook, so we can sort of keep in touch with each other. And so now I'm putting dimensionals on the back of this. I didn't need to, but I like my dimensionals. So now let's see, let's center it right there. You're a taxi now. Yes, that's how it is. Now you can always, angle things too. Remember, you don't have to keep it straight just like it was in the diagram. You can play around a little bit. So it depends what look you're going for. So there we go. We've got it like that. And shall I put it here or here? I'll put it there just like I did, because then I don't have to think. And I'm going to take a glue dot. Well, maybe I need to get hold of that glue dot. There we go. And fasten it down onto the string. Fasten this down. And then all we need is a few embellishments if you want. And you know me, I always want embellishments. So I have these. These are called the Genial Gems. And we'll just try. I thought maybe some of these would work. Yeah, I think they will. We'll put a few up here. When in doubt, add some sparkle. There we go. And that is how easy the card sketch was to come together, because you had the plan to begin with, then you just bring in what you want to use. And in my case, I started with the designer paper, and then away I went. And I'm going to show you one more that I made. So here I started with black and white designer paper from the pattern party. So that's in the host Stampin' Rewards section. And instead of just regular vellum, I used the vellum doily. I did emboss this again, the happy birthdays from the ice cream one. And then for the ribbon, I put this ribbon here. And then for the cross piece, I had cut this in 3 strips. So I cut that ribbon into 3 strips. So it's kind of frou-frou-y, I guess you could say. And so those are 2 other samples of using the card layout. So while I'm talking about designer paper and the fact that it's on sale, I also am offering a class. If you get my newsletter, you saw this yesterday in my newsletter. If not, remember to sign up and you can get it anytime you want. I have a new class. I have started classes since COVID called Use Your Stash classes. So what I do is I do very much like this. I come up with a plan. I show you a couple of ideas using that plan, and then you use your own stamp sets and paper and everything. And so I've got a Use Your Stash class, Use Your Stash of designer paper being offered right now. It is $20. I give you the handout, and then I also do a video showing things. So that's always an option if you've got a nice stack of designer paper, or you're thinking of buying it and you want ideas on how to use it. Remember, if you want to shop from my online store, you can go here and use the hostess code, this hostess code, or you can contact me. So either way, thank you so much for your comments and your support. If you're on here, if you share this, I would love that. Just put the word share in the comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit subscribe, because that helps my my YouTube status, you could say. So have some fun with this layout. Remember to share it on this Facebook page right here, and the Facebook group, pardon me, right here. And every Friday I post a new card layout idea. So check back tomorrow for a new one. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have fun.